Over the past 2 decades, large-scale land acquisitions, commonly referred to as land grabbing, have become a defining feature of global agrarian change. Following the 2008 food, fuel, and financial crisis, governments, corporations, and financial investors increasingly turned to farmland as a strategic asset. Land grabbing refers to the large-scale acquisition or control of land, primarily for agricultural, extractive, conservation, or infrastructure purposes by state or private actors, often involving foreign or domestic capital in ways that restructure land access, use, and governance, frequently at the expense of local land users. In critical agrarian and political economy scholarships, land grabbing is defined not merely as the purchase of land, but as a process of gaining control over land and associated resources such as water, labor, and territory, typically facilitated by state policies, legal framework, and power asymmetries. It is often also described as a race for resources, food, fuel, or land, but critical scholarship asks a deeper question. Is land grabbing really just about resources, or is it about power and control? In this video, we argue that land grabbing is more than resource grabbing. It's a political, economic process facilitated by state-capital alliance with far-reaching social, economic, and environmental effects. This video addresses the following research question. How is land grabbing more than resource grabbing? And how do state-capital alliance facilitate land grabbing and its effects? To answer this, we draw on critical agrarian studies, particularly the work of Boris Jr. and colleagues Oliver De Schutter and Klaus Deininger, published largely in the Journal of Peasant Studies. These scholars challenged technical and market-based explanations and instead placed land grabbing within global political economy and historical process of agrarian change. A key conceptual shift in the literature is the move from understanding land grabbing as resource grabbing to what Boris and colleagues call control grabbing. According to Boris, land grabbing is not simply about acquiring land, but about gaining control over land, water, labor, and territory. This control determines who decides land use, who benefits from production, and who is excluded from access. Oliver De Schutter reinforces this argument by warning against viewing land deals as neutral investments. He shows that legal and governance frameworks often legitimize dispossession rather than prevent it. In short, land grabbing is not just economic, it is deeply political. To understand contemporary land grabbing, we must situate it historically. Delmon, Zoya, and Boris show that land grabbing is part of a long continuum. Colonial dispossession, post-colonial land concentration, Green Revolution modernization, and today's global land rush. What changed after 2007 was not the logic of land control, but its scale, speed, and global integration. Boris, McMichael, and Scoones link land grabbing to biofuels and the rise of so-called flex crops, crops like sugarcane or soya that can serve food, fuel, or industrial markets. This flexibility makes land increasingly attractive to global capital. A central argument in the literature is that states are not passive victims of land grabbing. Instead, land grabbing is enabled by state-capital alliance. According to Deininger, governments facilitate land deals through investor-friendly land policies, weak or ambiguous land tenure systems, subsidies and tax incentives, and fast-track approval processes. Boris further argues that global governance tools such as voluntary investment guidelines often depoliticize land conflicts while protecting investor interests. Importantly, land grabbing is not only driven by foreign actors. In Latin America, domestic elites frequently partner with multinational capital supported by state infrastructure projects and legal reforms. Empirical data reinforces these arguments. According to the Land Matrix Initiative, more than 70 million hectares of land have been involved in large-scale land deals globally since 2000. Key trends include around 40 to 50% of acquired land is in sub-Saharan Africa. Latin America has fewer deals, but much larger average land size. 20 to 30% of deals during peak years were linked to biofuels. Crucially, studies show that less than half of concluded land deals are fully implemented, indicating speculative and control-oriented motivations rather than productive use. This effect of land grabbing extends far beyond land itself. It has impacts. Social impacts include displacement of smallholders, loss of customary land access, and heightened class and gender inequalities. Economic impacts involve replacement of subsistence farming with precarious wage labor, limited job creation relative to land size. Environmental impacts include deforestation, biodiversity loss, and monoculture expansion. The shooter warns that environmental narratives such as conservation or carbon offset projects can mask dispossession, a process known as green grabbing. Despite unequal power relations, land grabbing is not uncontested. Boris and Franco identified three forms of resistance: everyday negotiations, collective mobilization, and land occupations, transnational advocacy networks. These response highlights that land grabbing is a dynamic political struggle, not a one-sided process. To conclude, land grabbing is fundamentally more than resource grabbing. It's a process of control facilitated by state-capital alliance, embedded in historical patterns of agrarian inequality and global capital accumulation. Understanding land grabbing requires moving beyond technical investment narratives towards a critical political economy perspective that centers power, governance, and social justice. Thank you very much for watching. This analysis demonstrates why land grabbing must be understood not merely as an economic phenomenon but a deeply political process shaping global agrarian future. Don't subscribe.